Hello everyone and welcome back. As I mentioned in the last video where I reviewed the Keen Mini, which you can see here if you missed it, the knife I'm going to show you today was tied with the Keen Mini in the poll I did on Instagram. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Civivi Baby Banter. The designer of this knife is someone who is very well known in the EDC community, Ben Peterson. He is the owner of NAFSCO Knife Company, and prior to that he was the presenter on Blade HQ's YouTube channel. The manufacturer of this knife is Civivi, one of the most well-known knife manufacturers in China, and a brand that I have a lot of knives from, second only to Kaiser in my current collection. This knife is pretty standard, running on ceramic ball bearings, and it can be deployed using the thumb stud that you see here. It locks into place securely with a liner lock. And speaking of liners, you may notice that the Banter only has a liner on the lock side. The show side doesn't have a full-length liner. Instead, it is G10 with some small steel inserts for the screws to go into. And since this knife is pretty small, I don't really notice the G10 bending all when I squeeze it, so it seems pretty sturdy. The version of the Baby Banter I have features a drop point blade shape with a flat grind, but there are also versions with a Warncliffe blade instead. The drop point blade shape is one I have covered many times in my previous videos, as it is one of the most popular blade shapes. On a drop point, the spine of the blade will have a gradual curve downwards to meet the tip. This blade shape is good for piercing due to that nice pointy tip, and it is also good for slicing. I have used this a lot to open mail, break down boxes, and even to cut plastic zip ties for cable management at work. This knife is one of the smallest ones that I have, with a blade length of 2.34 inches and an overall length of 5.46 inches. I can just about squeeze all 4 of my fingers on the handle in this standard grip, but if I utilize the finger choil, then I'm able to get much more of a comfortable and stable grip. This choil here is a great feature on a knife this small, as it allows for people with larger hands to use the knife as well. Here's my boyfriend's hand for reference. Now, if you have watched my earlier videos, you may have noticed that I use this knife for a lot of size comparisons when I am reviewing other knives. And if you haven't seen my other videos, shame on you, go help a girl out. So this is the Baby Banter in comparison to the Civivi Elementum, the CJRB Pyrite, I'm running out of room, and the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So it's a big one right there. The blade steel on the Baby Banter that I have here is nitro-v, a newer blade steel made in 2017 by New Jersey Steel Baron. The name nitro-v refers to the addition of nitrogen and vanadium in the steel alloy. So nitro-v is similar to steels like 14C28N and AEBL, so it is tough, it has good edge retention, and it has great corrosion resistance. Also, since this blade is coated, it will have even more corrosion resistance. There are also other versions of the Baby Banter that have uncoated blades with a stonewash finish, and there is also a fancy looking version with a Damascus steel blade as well. I do want to mention that there are a dozen different colors and configurations of this knife, so there's a good chance you'll find one that you like. Most of them have G10 handles, but there is a version with carbon fiber handles and a version with Chabordia wood as well. I definitely want to pick up a folding knife soon that has a wood handle. Based on some quick Googling, Chabordia wood is an African rosewood that is primarily used in the furniture industry. Now, let me show you the carry capabilities. The Baby Banter features a nice deep carry pocket clip that is reversible for you lefties out there, and it is also set up for tip up carry. As you may know, girl pants are stupid and have teeny tiny pockets. And the Baby Banter is great because it actually fits in those tiny pockets. The retail price for the Baby Banter is around $60, which I would say this is a reasonable price. It is a bit more if you go for one of the Damascus steel versions. Now let me highlight some of the features I like and some I think could be improved. I would say one of the cooler things about this and other knives designed by Ben is that there's a lot of aftermarket options for thumb studs and handle scales, so you can really customize the knife and make it your own. You can purchase these accessories directly from NAFs, or you can buy them from companies like Low Rhino, Composite Materials, Flightanium, and others. I also really appreciate the size and overall weight of the knife. It is lightweight enough that I can put it in my pocket and forget that it's there. I can also put it in my EDC pouch without it sticking out weird, or I can throw it in my purse without it taking up too much space. One of the only drawbacks for me is that I have to admit I have lost this a few times due to how small it is. I once lost it in my car and thought it was gone forever, and once I waded through all of the husky fluff, I was able to find it. The attitude. I may have to invest in some of the glow-in-the-dark thumb studs in the future, but that's not really a fault of the knife though. The only real constructive criticism is that I wish the pocket clip was actually a bit shorter. It's more than half the length of the handle, and it can cause some hot spots if I'm using the knife for an extended time. I would say that as a small EDC knife that wouldn't be considered too intimidating but is large enough to still be useful, this one is a nice 10 out of 10. So that's it. That's all I got. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Did you love this? Hate this? Or are you as neutral as a weather report in a snow globe factory? As always, I try to end up with something uplifting, something nice because I feel like we're all struggling a little bit with something. So my inspiration or cheat code for you today is to think about the little win that you needed to celebrate today. Did you ace a test? Finally put the laundry away. Or did you put effort into something that put you closer to a life goal? If you did, I'm proud of you. So if you can, please subscribe and share my channel with your friends. I would really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for taking the time and making it to the end. My self-esteem thanks you. The knife I'm going to show you today was tied.
We like to pet you all the time. So you stop whining, you big baby.
I don't need intro music. I got that covered, but thank you.